Hello, I'm Lamar Davis II, Executive Director of the United States Jeet Kune Alliance and instructor of Jun Fan Kung Fu and Jeet Kune Chinese Kickboxing. I would like to welcome you to this tape, Volume 14 of Jun Fan Jeet Kune Complete, Bruce Lee's 5 Ways of Attack. In this tape, we will be covering all 5 ways of attack that we use in Jun Fan Kung Fu and Jeet Kune Do. We'll be starting off with single direct attack. Okay, single direct attack also has what you would refer to as another side to it, single angulated attack. So in this sequence we're going to show you and explain to you what single direct attack and single angulated attack are all about. I'll be joined at this time by my assistant Forrest Wade, and I'm going to show you a few examples of single direct attack. Okay. Single direct attack is simply a single attack thrown with the intention of landing. Okay? Nothing complicated about it. It's the easiest of the 5 ways of attack to execute, but sometimes the most difficult to land because you are depending on one shot to get in. And sometimes you get in, sometimes you don't. Okay? But that's why we have 5 ways of attack and not just one. Okay. A prime example of single direct attack is the leading straight punch or intercepting fist in Jeet Kune Do. This is what we call a chung choi, or vertical fist. It's fired straight in with the elbow down, impacting with the bottom 3 knuckles. Okay, so to train single direct attack, I'm going to measure off with the chung choi so that my fist contacts the glove just before full extension of the arm. Okay, from the on guard position, I'm going to launch the straight punch with no preparatory movement. Okay, so I'm just going to measure off and punch. Okay, that's the leading straight punch. All right, now I can add footwork to it. So I can move back a little bit further. Now reach, and I can't quite reach the glove, which tells you that I'm going to have to move. I'm going to have to use footwork to get in. So the footwork that I'm going to use this time is going to be a forward lunge. So I'm just going to lunge in and hit the glove. So this is still single direct attack. I've just had to add some footwork to it. Okay, that's single direct attack using footwork with the leading straight punch. Another example of single direct attack is the Pil Jeet, or finger jab. From the basic on guard position, I simply fire the fingers out, direct straight line thrust. Straight out, straight back. Aiming for either the eyes or the throat. If I'm going for the eyes, the fingers are loose and separated. If I'm going for the throat, the fingers are pressed together like the point of a spear. So the finger jab coming to the eyes, fingers loose and separated, the thumb is tucked. If I'm going to the throat, the fingers form a spear point, and the thumb is still tucked. Either way, you don't want the thumb sticking out to the side so that it can get caught on something on the way out. Okay? So from here, fire either the finger jab with the fingers loose and separated, or the finger jab with the fingers together like a spear point. Okay? Either way, it's single direct attack. Okay, now we're going to give you a different angle on this. Okay, Forrest is going to hold the glove here now. Alright, now, this would be an example of single angulated attack. Okay? I'm going to use the same technique. Extend the glove. Okay? I'm going to use the same technique, the leading straight punch, but this time I'm going to have to angle off as I fire the technique. So, let's say that a punch is coming in at me, or an opponent is rushing in at me, and I have to change my angle to deliver the strike effectively. So an example of this would be lateral movement. This is a simple example of single angulated attack. Okay, so from this position, I change my angle and simply deliver the leading straight punch. Okay, notice that my cover hand is up. Notice that I don't drop my hand. So that would be an example of single angulated attack. Okay, notice that everything we've done so far is from just the hands. Okay, now we're going to go with the feet. The simplest example of a single direct attack will be the straight kick. Okay, will be the straight kick to the groin. Okay, so from the Jeet Kune on guard position, I just move up and fire the kick. Okay, notice the kicking structure. Very economical, nothing wasted. Straight from where the foot is to the target. No unnecessary chambering or bending of the knee. Okay, simple, direct, therefore effective. Another example of single direct attack in Jeet Kune would be the hook kick. Okay? So, with Forrest holding my target for me, I'm going to rib solar plexus height with a hook kick. From the on guard position, okay, once again, notice, nothing is wasted. Another example of a single direct attack, another good example, would be the side kick coming in, fired directly from the stance. So, Forrest is going to turn to the side now, hold the target for me. I'm going to work the side kick. Okay, still single direct attack, just working the side kick. Okay, that's the basic side kick, single direct attack. Okay, so now you've seen single direct attack and single angulated attack. Remember, it's a single attack thrown with the intention of landing, okay? Whether it be hand or foot, direct or angulated, okay? The intention is for the attack to land. Okay, when we come back, we're going to show you what we call attack by combination. In this sequence, we're going to cover attack by combination. This is the second of the 5 ways of attack that I usually teach to my students. Okay, attack by combination involves any 2 or more techniques fired in succession with the intention of landing the techniques. Okay, now, in the process of attack by combination, there would be the possibility of either being parried or blocked while trying to attack. Well, that's where things like hand immobilization attack come into play. Also, in attack by combination, if you fire the first 2 shots and they're blocked or parried, the 3rd or 4th shot may get in. So a lot of it has to do with how persistent you are and how aggressive you are in combat. Okay, Forrest is going to join me now, and we're going to show you some examples of some training methods for attack by combination. Okay, Forrest is going to have what we call the glove hold position for right lead here. Okay, now I'm going to show you some simple hand combinations that we work. Okay, the first hand combination that I normally teach is jab cross. Okay, jab comes out, followed immediately by the cross. Okay, now your partner has to feed more energy into the glove because it's taking 2 shots. Okay, now this glove should be in close, so it forces economy of motion on the cross. If it's out here, I can throw this cross with a lot of wasted motion. So he wants to hold the glove in close and tight, where it forces economy of motion when I fire the cross or the rear hand straight punch. Okay, so the first combination I normally teach is jab cross, and it looks like this. Okay, notice when I fire these punches, I work my cover. Notice when the jab goes out, I'm covering here. When the cross goes out, I'm covering here. That's very important. Work your cover, okay? All right, another combination I like to teach involving only one glove is the back fist cross combination. Okay, so first the glove is turned like this. Now when the back fist hits it, it immediately turns to here, okay? Now, the way this works against an opponent is if I fire my back fist, if I land it, it's designed to whip in there real quick and bust the mouth or break the nose, okay? Now, that's going to turn the head. The cross is going to come immediately behind and break the jaw. It's fired to the jaw hinge. Okay, so that would be one example. Another example would be if my opponent takes a position where their lead hand is up high, guarding. Okay, I would use the back fist. I would fire that to the back of their hand. Okay? Very painful to get struck in the back of the hand with a knuckle. So I'm going to fire that back fist right into the back of their hand, knocking the hand to the side, opening the face up for the cross. So it's going to be back fist cross. Back fist cross. Okay? Like that. All right, now I'll show you how we train this on the focus glove. Okay, the idea is to go for speed here because you want the cross to land immediately after the back fist. Okay? You want it to almost sound like the same strike. It should be bah, not bah, bah, but bah, like that, okay? So it's one immediately after the other, like so. Okay, like that. All right, the next combination that I normally teach is jab, cross, hook. Okay? Jab, cross, hook. Once again, notice my cover. Jab, cross, hook. Notice that the hook goes right off of the cover from the cross. Okay? So we have jab, cross, hook. Like so. Okay? Speed it up a little bit for you. Give it a shot. Okay, like that. All right, then the next combination I normally teach is jab, cross, hook, back fist, cross. Okay? So we have jab, cross, hook, back fist, cross. Jab, cross, hook, back fist, cross. Okay, so now we're combining the jab, cross, hook combination with the back fist cross combination. And this teaches a good flow, good energy flow in attack. you see that? Jab, cross, hook, back fist, cross. Okay, now I'm going to show you a simple foot-hand combination. Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to fire a straight kick to groin level, followed immediately by a straight punch to head level. Okay, what we sometimes call a little head, big head attack. Alright, so, coming in, boom, boom, okay? Okay? I think you get the idea there. Alright, that's an example of a foot followed by a hand attack by combination. Okay? Now, there are several other attack by combinations possible here, but I just wanted you to get the idea and understand how this works. I can combine hands with feet and just mix it up and just do all kind of things. I can do like attack by combination using only the legs and then go into the hands, okay? So I can just kind of move around. See, that was 2 kicks, okay? 2 hook kicks. Okay, like that. All right, I can go right out of that into the hands, okay? So, all kind of possibilities. Okay, when we come back, we're going to cover what we call hand immobilization attack. In this sequence, we're going to talk about what we call hand immobilization attack. Okay, this is what is commonly known as pansal, or trapping hands. It is the trapping hands that draw most people to Bruce Lee's fighting method. Trapping is not included in most martial arts. And when a lot of martial artists from different systems, different styles, see the trapping hands in Jeet Kune, it just kind of blows their mind. They're like, wow, that's what I want to do, you know. So they come to us to learn the trapping. So I usually start teaching the trapping drills almost immediately when a student first starts training with me. And hand immobilization is simply trapping, immobilizing a limb long enough to land a strike. Okay, now it could not only is it hand immobilization, it could be what we refer to sometimes as hair immobilization, which is where you grab the person by the hair of their head and hold them there while you strike them. Okay. That's a method of immobilization. Okay, there's also foot or leg immobilization, where you execute a leg obstruct as you enter, and you disable their lead leg, and then you step down and check the leg where they can't do anything with that leg, so you have them mobilize the leg. Now, it is possible in one sequence to see leg immobilization, hand immobilization, and hair immobilization, so you could just kind of blend them all together. Okay, and one thing I want to point out to you is that single direct attack pretty much stands alone by itself, single direct and single angulated. But any of the other 5 ways of attack, you can see elements of the other methods, the other ways of attack involved in those attacks. Okay, so we're going to get right into some hand immobilization. I'm going to show you some of the drills that we call reference point trapping drills. We're going to start off with a simple drill that we refer to as a high line pox out. Forrest is going to join me now. Okay, this is what we call a high line outer wrist engagement. Okay, now, some people say, when you get in a fight, you're not just going to walk up to somebody and say, okay, put your arm up, we're going to fight, and then you stand here like this and the fight starts. Of course not. Okay, but these are what we call reference points. This is somewhere that I might have ended up in the course of the fight. In other words, I may have thrown a punch and he may have blocked me. Okay, we ended up essentially here. He may have thrown a punch, I may have blocked him, okay, or parried him, okay. Example of what we call a low line reference would be I may have thrown a punch, he may have blocked down on me, he may have thrown a punch, I may have blocked down on him, okay. All right. Now he may have been in a left lead. He may throw a punch with his lead hand, I may parry here. That gives us this lead line engagement. Okay, he may throw a punch, I may parry here. That gives us this high line engagement. Okay, he may throw a punch low, I may block down on it here. That gives us that low line engagement. I may throw a punch low, he may block down on it here. That gives us that low line engagement. So rather than go through all of these individual punching techniques, we simply use these reference points. A little closer. Simply use these reference points as a starting point. That way, when you're in a classroom or a training situation, you get a lot more trapping done, you get a lot more accomplished, because you're not having to take the time to start at the fighting measure and then close and initiate the attack. Okay? So, this is the first hand immobilization attack drill that we teach in my school. It's called high line pops out. Okay, so we're going to start here. High line outer wrist engagement, and I'm going to do 3 things at one time. I'm going to push shuffle forward and check his leg. I'm going to execute the pox out or slapping hand to his arm, and I'm going to execute a straight punch, which I'm going to fire past his head to train the penetration in the punch and also to help preserve my training partner. Okay, so we start from this high line outer wrist engagement, and I deliver the pox out. Okay, now notice everything moves at once. It's not like I step, then I slap, then I hit. Okay, it's not like I slap, I hit, and then I step. Everything moves as one. Okay, so from this point, okay, I lunge in with that push shuffle, I pop the arm, and I punch past the head. Okay, now when I deliver this pox out, I don't go like that. I go straight from where my hand is to his arm, and I push it in toward his body and in toward his center line. That assures immobilization. Okay, so that's the basic pox out from a high line outer wrist engagement. Okay, now the next trap that I normally teach is what we call lops out or grabbing hand. Okay, we're also going to work that from the high line outer wrist engagement. So we're here. Okay, now once again, everything is at once. I pull him, I torque my waist and hips, and I punch. Okay, notice the quick retraction. Notice that I don't just leave it out there. Okay, if I attack and I leave it out there, just like the pox out that you saw previously, if I attack and I just leave my arm out there, what if he parried my attack? Now he's in a prime position because my arm is still out here. He's got a hand down here that he can bring a tonsile up and parry my arm and punch to my face, okay? So I could be in trouble there. So I want to make sure that I retract. That way if he parries across when I punch, if I've retracted, I'm prepared to retaliate immediately with a counterattack. Okay, so once again, lops out or grabbing hand from high line outer wrist engagement. Okay, that's a very effective technique. All right, now, if he were in the opposite lead, okay, we could go from this type of engagement here, and I could work what's called the limb lops out or cross grabbing hand. So we're here, and then we're here. Okay, so what I do, I shoot my hand through, I grab, and I fire the back fist. Now I combine a push shuffle, an angular push shuffle. Now I'm doing a push shuffle, and I'm angling off to the right. I combine a push shuffle with this particular hand immobilization attack. Quachoi or back fist is the attack that's delivered with limb lops out. Okay, like so. Okay, with him still on the left lead, if we engage here, all right, I could bring a jets out or jerking hand in and then spring off of that right into the eyes with a Bill G or finger jab, okay? Okay? Now this works real well, especially if you get one of these people who very stiff. Okay? So if I fired a punch and he blocks outward like a karate guy or something, see how that works? See, I just kind of pull him right into that finger jab. Now I keep my elbow down, so I check his arm with my elbow as I bring the finger jab in. So I punch, he blocks, I jut, and I shoot right into the eyes. Okay? That would be another example of a hand immobilization attack. Okay, now he goes back to a right lead. Okay, now we're going to go to a low line outer wrist engagement. This would be like if I punch low and he blocked me, or if he punched low and I blocked him. But anyway, we end up here. Okay, now I'm going to do the low line pops out. Alright, so he's going to give me a hand here as a target. Now, I'm going to be real careful and make sure that I don't snap a back knuckle into his palm. Okay, I want to just kind of hit flat and just get the contact there, just to know I was there and just to get some contact. Okay, so from here, okay, once again, I shuffle in, I check the arm, and I fire the back fist. Notice I've checked the leg again too. Okay, that's very important. All right, from here, okay, just like that. All right, these are some examples of some of the simple, don't go yet. These are examples of some of the simple hand immobilization attacks that we use. Okay, now I'm going to go into what we call compound immobilization attack, okay, or compound trapping. All right, this is where two or more trapping techniques are combined. All right, now, first of all, let me explain this to you about trapping. Trapping is a byproduct of hitting. The primary goal of the Jeet Kune practitioner is to land an effective hit to an open line on the opponent's body, okay? Now, trapping is used when there's an obstruction on the line. You use the trapping to remove the obstruction, okay? So if there's an open line, you attack. If it closes, you use trapping to remove the obstruction on the line, okay? So there should be a hit before and after every trap as a general rule here, okay? A hit before and after every trap. That way you assure yourself that you are always trying to hit, okay? If you don't get in with a hit, and if there's an obstruction on the line, the trapping is available to you. Okay, so now we're going to go into some compound trapping. All right, we're going to go back to that high line outer wrist engagement. We're going to do the pox out. He's going to give me a very economical center line parry. Okay, so in other words, he's going to parry to right here. It's going to be very economical, nothing wasted. Okay? So I'm going to close in with the pox out. He's going to parry. So what I'm going to do from here, since I'm very close to getting in, and since he hasn't actually pushed me across the center, I'm going to slide right off of this arm and pop this arm down and continue my blow and hit him here. Okay, so what we've got is, okay? Okay. All right, so we're here, okay? Right there. So we got pox out 1, pox out 2. This is what we commonly refer to as a double pox out. Show it to you from the other side so you can see it better. Okay, so we have the first pox out, then we have the second pox out. I trap him here and I hit him. Okay, that's one example of a compound hand immobilization attack, or compound trapping. Okay, now we're going to let him cross the center. He's going to go just across the center with his parry. Okay, that requires Linlopsau, or cross-grabbing hand. Okay. All right, speed it up a little bit. Okay. All right, now, what if he is one of these guys that is somewhat of an awkward, inexperienced type fighter, and he parries against the energy? So in other words, we'll show you this from the other side. So in other words, when I do this pox out and I come in, instead of parrying this way, he's going to parry me this way, okay? So, when I come in, he parries to the outside. Okay, I'm going to jut sow or jerking hand, then land sow, which is a bar arm, and then continue the hit, okay? Alright, so from here to here, okay? Okay, right there. That's another example of a compound attack. Okay, now, what if I try to deliver my pox out and I meet a rigid arm? Okay, I know I can't get through. Okay, so since he's pressing this way, okay, I'm gonna take that energy, okay, and I'm gonna go around it here. Okay, this is what we call a jiao, or circling palm or running hand. Okay, so from here, we're gonna go pop. Okay, I can't get through. All right, so I just simply fire that jiao in. Notice how economical that is. Notice that that's just right around and in. Okay, so I fire the pop, can't get through, jiao comes in. Okay, now I strike either the ear or the jaw with this. This is a very powerful blow. Most people don't realize how powerful this particular strike is. It can do a lot of damage. I can break the jaw, I can rupture the eardrum with this strike. Okay, let's say he's particularly quick, and he very economically parries the jiao with his rear hand. Okay, so from here to here, now look where I am, okay? Quick jut sow, land sow or bar arm, and hit, okay? So what we have now, okay, first the pop sow, then the jiao sow, then the jut sow followed by the land sow, and then the hit, okay? Speed that up a little bit for you. Okay, right there. All right, that's another example. All right, let's say he's one of these guys that really wastes motion on his defense. Okay, I try to hit him here, he's rigid. Then I come here and he really pushes me out there. Okay, I just slap his groin and come around and back fist him in the face. Okay, now we use the thigh for a training target. If you hear something go like that, you know you penetrated a little too far. Okay, so from here, I pop, I feel that I can't get through. I go for my jiao, he blocks that, and this guy wastes a lot of movement. He pushes me way out here, boom, okay? So I slap his groin and back fist him in the face, okay? Speed that up a little bit. Okay? Built on it a little bit there, okay? Added a strike to the throat, a strike to the neck, and a knee smash to the groin, okay? The follow-ups for most of these compound trapping techniques are numerous and varied. There's plenty of things you can do. You can have fun with things like that all day long. Okay, let's go to another example. What if I go with my lop sow and he parries, okay? Very economical center line parry, okay? I'm just going to lop and hit with the hand that originally did the lop sow. Okay, so this is what we call a double lop sow. Short T from the other side. So I engage, I lop, I hit, he parries, I lop, and I hit. Okay, I got a lot of choices for how I can hit here. Okay, I can hit low and then high. Okay, I can go in with a straight punch. I can go in with a hook punch. I can go in with a back fist. I can go in with an elbow. I can go in with a low hit to the groin and then come up and strike into the throat if I wanted to. Or I could break the arm and then go right into the face if I wanted to. And I could come around and go into what we call a body trap and fire a hard elbow or shovel hook or straight punch into the solar plexus or into the face. Okay, so those are some of the possibilities that I have available to me there. Okay, now another thing that you often run into when you try to trap hands It's what we sometimes refer to as the grabber, the guy who likes to grab things. So I do the pox out, and I fire the punch, and he just grabs my wrist. So I'm just going to pull this down. I'm going to hit over the top to the open line. Okay, so what we have now is, okay. All right, he grabs my hand immediately. I just hit over the top to the open line. No problem. Okay, the grabber can also exist with the lops out. I go with the lops out, he grabs my wrist, I just drop my arm, bar him, and hit with a free hand. Show you that from the other side. I lop, he grabs my wrist, I bar, I hit from the other side. Okay? Just that simple. If he releases and tries to block this, okay, I flow around and hit here. Then I can trap there and come through with something like that. Okay, like I said, you can have fun with stuff like this all day. Okay, another thing I'll show you at this point is what we call an energy change trap. Okay, this occurs sometimes when I try to go with a pox out and he stiffens up on me. I know I can't get through, so I'd be stupid to try because I'd just fly off over there somewhere. So as soon as I feel that, I look at it like this. If he wants to push, if he wants to go this way, I'll help him. I'll pull him right into the punch. Okay, so right there. Right there, okay? Pop, can't get through. Lop, I'm in. Okay, now notice from here, I can go right into there, okay? The punch becomes a flux out, pinning the arm to the body, and I fire straight into the next shot. Now from here, I can come out, break his arm, knee the sciatic nerve, and elbow right into the face, okay? All right, now what if I try to lops out and he pulls back? Okay, I'll look at it like this. If he wants to pull back, if he wants to go that way, I'll help him. Okay? So I try to lop. He pulls back, I just come right in. Okay? All right, these are all examples of hand immobilization attack. Okay. When we come back, we're going to show you what we call progressive indirect attack and some of the applications. In this sequence, we're going to cover what we call progressive indirect attack. In progressive indirect attack, the only attack that is intended to land is the final blow. Okay? So, you may use a series of feints or fakes to set up that final technique. Alright, now, what you have to consider here is that to be a progressive indirect attack, once you decide to go, everything must constantly progress toward the final target. In other words, once you decide to go with it, everything progresses. There's no pulling back, it's full speed ahead. Okay? So, this is a series of attacks where only the final attack is intended to land. What you're attempting to do is lure the opponent into exposing an open line, which you're prepared to take. Okay. Forrest is going to join me now, and we're going to show you some basic examples of progressive indirect attack. Okay, the first one I'm going to show you is going to involve only hands, okay? All right, now what I'm going to do, back up just a little bit. Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to move in, and I'm going to shoot the hand high, okay? Then I'm going to move in, I'm going to drop, and I'm going to shoot low, okay? So, what he's going to do, he's going to obviously think that this high line attack is the real attack. He's going to react to it. Then he's going to see me go low, and he's going to say, ah, he tried to fake me. Well, then he's going to go low thinking he's going to cover it, and then I'm going to change up and hit him on the high line. Okay, now, the key to this, once again, is constant progression. In other words, once I decide to go, I have to go for it. Okay? All right, so what we have here is high line, low line, high line. Okay? That's what we're going for. Notice I'm using a series of lunges, a series of push shuffles to get myself into the final position. Therefore, progressive. Indirect being the fact that the final attack is the only attack that's actually intended to land. Okay? That's just one example. All right, another example would be if I set him up by a series of progressive feints. Okay? I may shoot low. Okay? I may move in. Okay? So, what appears to be the real attack is not. Okay? Once again, constantly progressing. I'll slow this down for you. Watch this real slow. Okay, you notice that I didn't retract the hand at any time. If I had retracted the hand at any time, it would have destroyed the progression, okay? All right, so we'll speed that up a little bit for you. Okay, so you get the idea there. All right, another way that I may do this, I may come in and I may go to the outside line. All right, let's say he's in the left lead this time. Okay? I may come in on a hooking type line here. Okay, then take the high lines. Okay? When I take the high line, I could take it with a jiu out, or I could take it with an out joint or hook punch. Okay. So once again, we're moving around. Okay. Another example of progressive indirect attack. Okay, this time I'm gonna close the gap with a kick. So he's gonna think that he's gonna get a straight kick. But I know that I'm not going to land the kick. I'm just trying to draw him low. I'm trying to get his attention on the low line. So when he goes to cover, he exposes the line and I take it. So what we're looking at is, okay, once again, constantly progressing, moving in, moving toward my final destination at all times. Okay, so when he goes to cover what he thinks is going to be there, I take the line. All right, another example will be done entirely with kicks, okay? I feint a low kick, okay? When he responds to that, without pulling back, without touching the foot back down, I change that low kick feint to a high line kick, okay? So, what he thinks is the real kick is not the real kick. I switch up on him and take another target, which in this case is going to be the head. So we're moving around. I come in. Okay? Alright? So we're moving around. Okay? Like that. Alright, when he reacts to the low shot, I take the high line. We're just kind of moving around. We're going to show you what it would look like in reality now. Okay, you get the idea. Okay, that's basic progressive indirect attack. All right, when we come back, we're going to show you what we call attack by drawing. In this sequence, I'm going to demonstrate what we call attack by drawing. Okay, I'm wearing these gloves so I can bring a little bit more realism to this particular drill. These particular gloves are made by Fist from New York, and they allow the hands total freedom for trapping and for open hand striking. So you have basically no restrictions whatsoever. They're very light, they're very well padded, they're excellent to work with I would suggest to anyone that they contact Fist and ask about these gloves. They're excellent. You'll really, really enjoy working with them if you get your hands on some. And anyway, attack by drawing is where you intentionally expose a line, hoping that the opponent will take that line, okay? So in other words, if I'm here in the basic JKD on guard position, and if I drop this hand, that lets you know that I'm opening this line. So when somebody tries to take that line, I'm waiting for that and I react accordingly, okay? If I'm here and I drop both hands, that lets you know that the center line is open, the upper line. So when they try to take that, I'm waiting on it and I'll take care of them, okay? Now, if I raise both hands like this, that lets you know that the lower line is open. So when they try to take that, I'll respond accordingly and take care of them. Okay, so there are several ways to open different lines. And what we'll show you here, just a few of them, and then you can take it from there and come up with some ways of your own to make this work. Okay, Forrest is going to join me now, and we'll show you how this works. Okay, now, if I'm in the basic on guard position, what he's doing, he's looking for openings. Okay, so when I create an opening and he tries to take that opening, that's attack by drawing. Okay, so what I want to do here is expose a line, expose a target to Forrest, and when he tries to take it, that's when I attack, okay? So, the best thing about this is that it normally works very well because most people will try to take an open line. Okay, the worst thing about this is when you're using attack by drawing and you don't realize it. In other words, you've gotten tired or you're being sloppy and something is open and you're not trying to use attack by drawing, it's just open. So make sure that when you use attack by drawing that you know you're doing it. Okay, so if we're here, as long as I'm in the on guard position, he doesn't see any openings. So he doesn't do anything. But all at once, there's an opening. He tries to take it, so I use a wompak and a straight punch to counter. Okay, another example of a counter for that particular opening would be, okay, here. I bring my lead hand back up and cover as I attack with my rear hand. That's another example. Okay, so from here, I can go here, or I can go here, like this. Like so. Okay, now, if we're here and I drop this hand, that opens this line, okay? This line right here is open. That's what we call the inside high line. Okay, so when I drop my hand and he goes to take that line, I simply recover the line and counter. Okay, another example would be here, to hit low into the ribs. So I'm here, I drop the hand, he sees the opening, and I counter. Good follow-ups would be there. Okay, so now we got like here, here, here. Okay, now the important thing would be to get these blows in before he could recover from the attack. Okay, now another example would be I'm here, I'm on guard, everything's closed up. All once I raise the hands. Now the low line is exposed. So as long as I'm here, everything's okay. I'm covered and I'm ready. But when he sees me expose a line and try to take it, I take him out. Okay? So we're moving around. Okay? I take him. Boom. Just like that. Okay. Now, these are just some common examples. Okay? Just some common examples. Alright, watch this. This will be one using the legs or the feet. Okay, I'm here, I'm on guard, everything's okay. I drop my hands. He tries to take the opening. I fire the side kick into the ribs. So we're here, everything's fine. I'm on guard. All at once I drop, boom, he tries to take the opening. I do the side kick to the ribs. Okay, now I can't obviously do this with any real power because I would break some ribs, and Forrest doesn't want any broken ribs. So the main thing I wanted to do was just to illustrate a point there. All right, another thing that I could do here, strong guard, I expose the line, he tries to take it, I lean back and kick to the groin as he comes in. Okay, so we're here. Okay, I lean back and simply fire a quick kick into the groin, or nail the solar plexus with the toe of the foot. Now, Jeet Kune being a shoe art, you fire the toe of the shoe into the solar plexus, they're in for a lot of pain. Okay. All right, now, so what you have to do is open these lines and make it real obvious so that they'll take the line that's open. All right, so what we're going to do now, we're just going to kind of move around a little bit. We'll do a few from this side, then we'll switch sides. We'll show you from the other side, give you some idea of what this is all about, so you'll pick up on this and hopefully be able to add it to your combat repertoire and use it. Okay, so we're moving around here. Forrest is going to be looking for openings. As long as I'm covering well, there's nothing for him to hit. But when I create an opening, he's going to take that line and I'm going to get him. Okay. Okay, right there. All right. Okay, kick to the groin. All right, we'll go to the other side, do a few things from the other side now. Okay, when you see those, you take it. Okay, it's a low shot to the midsection with a high hand, long popper, cross slap cover. Okay, this is what we call attack by drawing in Jeet Kune. Okay, these are Bruce Lee's 5 ways of attack. Okay, to briefly review before we close here, what we have is single direct attack or single angulated attack, which means you either fire a direct attack from the stance or with footwork with the intention of landing the attack, or single angulated attack, which means that you angle the body and fire the shot, intending for the shot to land. Okay, once again, either one could be involving footwork, or either one could be preceded by a feint. Okay, in other words, for single direct attack, I could go like that, and then fire the attack. Okay, You might be saying, well, wouldn't that be progressive indirect attack? No, it would not, because if you watch it from the side, I withdraw, okay? Okay, remember, to be progressive indirect attack, it must be constantly forward. No regression, no going back. Constant forward pressure. Okay, so single direct attack, commonly referred to as SDA, and single angulated attack, commonly referred to as SAA, are very simple, okay? Very simple to execute, yet often very difficult to land. Next we have attack by combination, often referred to as ABC. This is simply 2 or more attacks fired in rapid succession with the intention of landing all of the attacks, or with the intention of attacking until you land an attack. Okay? Then we have hand immobilization attack, or HIA, which is the trapping hands. Alright? Remember, you have simple traps, you have compound traps. A trap is simply something that you use to retain or immobilize the opponent's limbs long enough for you to land a hit. Trapping is a byproduct of hitting. Try to hit first. If you can't get the hit in, if there's an obstruction on the line, then you trap. But there should be a hit before and after every trap. That's hand immobilization attack. Alright, from there you have progressive indirect attack, or PIA. Okay, in progressive indirect attack, only the final attack is intended to land, and you deliver your movements, your feints, whatever, you deliver in constant progression until you land that final blow. Never do you pull back. Once you decide to go, constant forward pressure, full speed ahead until you're in there. That's progressive indirect attack. Then finally, attack by drawing, or ABD. That's where you leave an intentional opening on a line. When they try to take the opening, you exploit it and attack. Okay? Now, remember, the main thing about attack by drawing is to know that you're using it. In other words, if you're just lazy or tired or you have bad training habits and you drop your hands in combat, you deserve to get punched. Okay? Good training habits develop good fighting habits. Remember that. Okay? So for attack by drawing, if I'm going to go for a draw, I better know that I've uncovered a line. Because if I don't know, I'm in trouble. Okay? So it's very simple. These are Bruce Lee's 5 ways of attack. I've enjoyed working with you in this tape. If you are not currently a member of my organization, the United States Jeet Kune Alliance, and you would like to become a member, you can write to me, Sifu Lamar M. Davis II, at 267 West Valley Avenue, suite number 223, Birmingham, Alabama, zip code 35209. I'll be happy to have you as a member. Okay, other tapes available in this series. This tape series is a 20-volume series, and there are many other tapes available in this series. And there's several other series, such as the seminar series, which includes 10 volumes covering material from various seminars that I've done around the country. There's also a tape available called Real Junfan Jeet Kune Do, which is an overview of Junfan Kung Fu and Jeet Kune Do Chinese kickboxing. It explains, kind of touches on everything. It's a solid 2 hours long, and it's a good view of everything that we do. So that's another one that you should add to your tape library. Another tape that I have available is Bruce Lee's Jeet Kune Do Essential Self-Defense. Coming soon, we have the Advanced Trapping Series, the Street Combat Series, the USJKDA Instructor Series, and the Training Method Series. So you can be looking for these in the near future. So, until I see you in another tape or meet you in person through a seminar or a class one day, I've enjoyed working with you, and I'll see you again in another volume.